It's Alonso looking for Cisse, who's made a terrific run. Is this 2-0? Djibril Cisse, what a simple goal.
And then Mane on the move, just gets a yard away from Davis. Still Sadio Mane, finishes superbly. And look at the reason, and Firmino, and then Sadio Mane again. Run this by Philipp Lahm. On again towards Lahm. It's Lahm. They couldn't have left it any later.
Hello and welcome to the Three Wide Men podcast. Jack and I'll be presenting again, and this week again we have Jonny Leafield.
Hello.
And Liam Lines.
Howdy.
Liam won the Three Wide Men derby as his Man U beat my Watford 2-0. I can't complain, better team. Fair play. I mean, Man United are on great form. The longest winning streak Man U have had since the days of Sir Alex. How are you feeling, Liam?
Well, you said his, so I wish I did own Man United, but there we go. I think played well, but it's just about keeping it going, isn't it, really now? Because it's all sort of crunch. Everyone's so close at the top now for top four, so this means nothing unless they keep it going. But it was good to see a 2-0. Sort of keep a clean sheet against, sort of Watford side that you never know which side's going to turn up, especially we learned that earlier on in the season. So it was pretty good.
Yeah. Just from a Watford standpoint, it was nice for us to not get rolled over, to be honest, by a team who clearly on the day were much better than us. Whereas previously this season, when we've gone against much better teams, we've lost 6-1 or 4-1 to Liverpool or Tottenham. And coming on to those two, against all four of them, Liverpool can't beat teams like Wolves and then come out and beat Tottenham 2-0. Just ridiculous. Is it the Mane factor, or is there something more to it?
I want to say Mane, but as well they didn't have Rose, and I think that I only realised this after watching Match of the Day, but obviously from their analysis. But that did, when they highlighted Rose not being there, I think if they'd had Rose in that game, then there wouldn't have been so much pressure of Mane sort of being able to get behind them.
I think
so. He definitely had an influence, but I think if you're comparing, the pace of Rose to Davy,
I think Pochettino just got his tactics wrong. I think they would have been far better off sticking to that 3-5-2 wing back thing, where all you would have to do is swap Ben Davis for Danny Rose, and he hasn't got the pace, but I don't think there's a lot in it. Really.
It was only because Rose was injured.
I think I think they would have been far better served to just swap man for man, and they would have caused Liverpool a lot more problems and prevented a lot more issues in their defensive third. By doing that, I think they shot themselves in the foot and didn't really give themselves a chance to play.
Because who's usually their back three? I was trying to think. It's Alderweireld,
Vertonghen, but he's injured, so it would have been Wimmer.
And then because was Dyer in centre back?
Yeah, he had a shot.
Because he's not. I've learnt this now. He's not a centre back anymore. He may have been at one point in his career, but he just wants too much time. And as soon, usually when he maybe loses it in midfield, he's got people behind him. Whereas he lost it obviously in that, and it cost the second goal for Mane. So he's a good player, and he likes to get it down on the ground. You can see what he was trying to do on their goal, but I feel like he's played so long in CDM now. I feel like that's got to be his position.
But then you say that, but then with Wanyama and Dembele in the middle, it's hard to see him really get much looking at centre mid. So he needs to be careful. Maybe does need to learn better at this centre back position. Although he is still obviously young and he has got a lot of time to still develop. But unfortunately in the Premier League you don't always have time.
I think Wanyama possibly, if I was any Spurs player, I'd be possibly wanting to up my performances. I think he's not been as good as Spurs need him to be, and I think if Dyer has an opportunity, then he might be able to take Wanyama's spot, because Dyer and Dembele, I think, are slightly different CDMs, and I think that works quite well. I think Wanyama and Dembele they're both ball winners. I think they both offer quite a lot of the same sort of thing, so possibly you could win back a spot in CDM there.
And then with also on CDMs, Kante still running the show, although a slight stumbling block for Chelsea this week, drawing 1-1 with Burnley. Despite obviously a previous win against Arsenal before that, I think they could kind of afford them to make mistakes, but you can never be too sure.
Yeah, I think Burnley played really well. I thought they deserved something out of that. Well, I think they possibly deserved to even win it. I think Chelsea looked really sort of void of answers for a lot of it. You very rarely have seen that this year. I think Burnley they knew exactly what they wanted to do and they carried it out very, very well. So I don't think any could have been too surprised or sort of disappointed if you're a Chelsea fan if they'd have lost that.
No, I think I think it's phenomenal what they've done this year, Burnley at home. They've really made Turf Moor a fortress. And to go 1-0 down against such an impressive Chelsea side and to get back into it
so early. I think that probably helped them going down.
I think it's really impressive because Chelsea could have just, I know they don't tend to sit back, but I feel like, you would have thought they would have taken control of that game once going 1-0 up. And to get back into it and hold out and, like Johnny said, nearly win it, I think, is a testament to what Sean Dyche has learnt from last time. And sort of the mentality that they've now got at home. It's sort of like, if we can get these home performances solid, we're staying in the Premier League, and then just try and enjoy ourselves away from home. And I think that's been a great positive for Burnley this year, and I think which might go against teams like Leicester.
It's true. I mean, obviously, obviously a credit to Burnley. It's not very often the team faces Chelsea and comes out as the better defensive outlet. And it's not like they have star defenders or star players like Kante. They are just literally, they're a unit. They work together and they're incredibly hard to break down. And with breakdowns, obviously you said Leicester, and it all just seems to be going wrong. It's sad to look at Ranieri on his side of the pitch. He just looks sad. It was like droopy eyes, and it makes it's not nice to look at.
I think he always looks a little bit worried, but I think it's just enhanced now. Because they are in such dire
It's just their
straits.
shape, though. Like, if you watch their shape, it was so bad. It was like a Sunday League team. It was so bad, and it's so frustrating to watch because he's a top class manager. But you're looking at their setup, and you think there's so much wrong with it. Like, you can't even begin to go into the amount of issues that are there. And it goes back to just simply drilling on the training field. If you drill a shape, look what Swansea have done. Swansea's squad is bang average. They've got some terrible players in there. And because Paul Clements decided that he's going to work on their shape and their work rate, they're simply just running a bit more. And they seem to they've picked up results. That's all Leicester need to do. That's basically what they did last year and they won the league.
I think they were that bad last year. And the likes of Kante and then people pushing up forward because they were able to. And it sort of, produced that counter-attacking sort of quality, but I think this year they're just as bad as last year, but they haven't got someone who can actually tackle them, tackle in the midfield to then propel them forward. They're having to try and, I think maybe they have got slightly worse, and maybe their mentality has definitely changed. But I feel like they were just as bad as this last year, possession wise, passing wise. Position, and I feel like they've just got slightly better because they had someone who could get around the pitch.
But their shape was so much better. Their centre backs, like Huth and Morgan, don't look like they've even met each other before. They're like one's sort of playing on the halfway line, one's dropped off, like because they're nervous they're going to get caught over the top, and they're forward like they're not obviously because teams have worked out how to play when they sort of hoof over the top. Teams have worked out how to play against them, so they just sort of press like they can just basically sit back. Wait for them to hoof it long, and they're so disjointed. Like their forward players, there's no relationship between any of them. I don't think it's like so many people have said, oh, it's because Kante's left. I mean, he is a huge part of their team because they've lost a ball winner and sort of a good outlet, but their back line is a huge, like, I think it's the biggest issue for me because that last year where they weren't conceding those goals because they were organised and well disciplined, this year they are conceding goals and they're not even giving themselves chances to win games.
I think the point about their positioning is a huge point about Kante because but last year, and it shows with David Luiz as well, because in Chelsea's form, because they know if I just stay here in this sort of area, in the area near the penalty box, Kante's going to sort out me in front. So I can just worry about what's going on next to me and behind me. Whereas now they're having players in front of them who are unmarked. One's going towards one and then they're getting left behind. And I feel like that's why there's this disjointedness because they knew beforehand the midfield would deal with whoever's in front of them. Because when you look at David Luiz now, he has so much protection. It makes him look great because he knows as long as I don't do my David Luiz nonsense and stay here, my midfield, Matic and Kante will deal with it. And I think that maybe they have lost some sort of communication somewhere, but I feel like it's not a coincidence. I know you did say, huge as Kante, but I feel like that is the number one factor is that they were able to relax about stuff around them and behind them. It shows with Chelsea as well. But.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, we saw it the week before with Man United against Leicester. One touch from Mkhitaryan, suddenly he's past Hoof and Morgan. As soon as anyone's running at them, they haven't got a chance because they're not mobile. They're too big. They're tree trunks. They're big. They're strong, and they'll stand firm if anyone tries to push them. But you can just walk around them. You just run around them, and yeah, it's obviously hard. They also don't have the confidence. I said it last week, and I think again it's the same. Mahrez looks like a totally different player, and I think we underestimate how many times last season just a bit of magic from Mahrez, where there'd be a lot of games where Leicester won 1-0 purely because of a magical moment from Mahrez where he hit. Because I think Vardy still looks good. I think Vardy actually had a decent game and was one of the... He still wasn't at his best, but he looks dangerous. He was still running at defenders and he created chances. And just when you're not scoring, sometimes as a striker, those strikes don't go in. Again, confidence.
That's what I sort of said about the shape of their team isn't there. Their defenders aren't keeping clean sheets, which isn't allowing players that Mahrez are underperforming Mahrez to go out and perform that bit of magic like they were doing last year. There's the sort of the everything that was going so right for them last year is now going so badly wrong. And I think I don't like that. I don't like when managers get sacked as a knee-jerk reaction, but I just don't. Either Ranieri needs to. Someone needs to say to Ranieri, basically, you've got to the end of the season. If you go down, we're going to look at someone else, because I think you've got to give him the chance because you know he can do it. But I just something's got to change there, like with their shape or something. You just need some sort of organisation. I
remember when I first heard it, it seems a bit stupid, but it kind of makes sense that Niall Quinn said on Sky Sports after one of the games, he was like, they should just say, even if you get relegated, just stay in as manager or something. Just put some sort of relax, just make everyone relax again and know where they are and know where they stand no matter what happens. You've been very faithful to the brought a huge amount of success, and we believe in you as a manager. So if we get relegated, just don't think about that. You'll still be manager or something. Just everything that's going on, and maybe I don't know if they still do things on match day where they're getting free drinks or free donuts and stuff like that. But I remember they did that last year, and it picked up the crowd. And it's like, it's all good when you're winning, but you need that kind of stuff. And I don't maybe it's just because they were winning, we heard about it more often, and that's why we haven't heard about it much this season. But I feel like the owners need to play a part as well, as in getting the fans geared up for games when they're 1-0 down, have free beers at half time and stuff like that to try and.
I remember fans this year, most of the time, they sounded still quite good.
Yeah, I think there's. I'm not saying they're not, but it's one of those things of, I don't know, just refreshing or just because when it comes to Champions League, they've done okay. So there's obviously something going right in the Champions League, and it is about
I think it's again teams haven't worked out how to play against. They've not experienced playing against teams like that. So it's sort of
but no matter if you have a really hard, solid, because as soon as something bad happens on the pitch, they probably sense the crowd going, oh God, here we go, another loss, and so maybe something needs to happen there to try and give supporters just something to shout about.
Yeah, I think just they need to get any kind of win, no matter how they do it. They need to get a positive, just any kind of positive, even like. I think it's good they're giving Demarai Gray a chance, and I think they still need to maybe just whoever it is, even if it's like is it King, whoever like the fans love, just play him, get him in the team, get something different, someone that the crowd can cheer, someone who can excite, just something to give.
Demarai Gray's been like their one shining light in all this. That he looks like he's the only one that thinks, do you know what? I'm in the Premier League and I'm going to take my chance, because if Leicester go down, someone else is probably going to take a chance on him, because he is a good asset to have in your team.
But he's still a rough diamond.
He still just basically gets he's like what Mahrez isn't doing. He just picks up the ball, goes, I'm going to beat my left back or my right back or whatever. I'm going to beat this full back and I'm going to get a cross in. And sometimes it's just as simple as that.
I think Joe needs to come in as well. He's someone that needs to prove a point. I know Vardy, you said, might be playing well, but they just need to get a striker who's got something different about them and can maybe do something slightly different that Vardy can.
Maybe even bring Vardy on from the bench. If he's got energy, then suddenly it will surprise teams and they might catch him off guard and he might be able to do what he did last season. Now, moving on, we had to talk, just like last week, we had last episode, we had Frank Lampard retiring. We've lost another legend of the game, this time Philipp Lahm. Had a really good career and deserves a lot of credit, actually. He's actually absolutely incredible player. There was a great article in the Telegraph talking more about when Pep first moved him into midfield, and it was because there was actually Pep's assistant at the time who made the decision, and it was because they said you want your best players in midfield. Midfield is where the game's won. So you want your best players there. So I'm not sure why Pep's trying to play Zabaleta in centre mid. That doesn't quite make as much sense. But it obviously worked with Philipp Lahm because he's one of the most intelligent players to ever grace the game. He's incredibly smart. He's good with both feet. So he's a typical German, just incredibly efficient. Put him anywhere and he will do the job. Pep said you could play him all 10 positions on the field and he would do brilliantly. And the fact that Pep even went to say that season where they obviously, because they're Bayern Munich, won so many careers, and the reason everything clicked was as soon as he moved into midfield. And to celebrate a bit of his career, and I feel like people need to know a bit more about Philipp Lahm, I've done a true or false quiz for you two.
I'm excited about this.
Okay,
So put some work into here. So every question is true
have
or false.
you got a jingle?
Would you like to sing one on the spot?
I'm not singing one. It's your
budget cuts.
quiz.
Hard times. I can't do all the work.
I'll do it. I'll have a go. No, I won't.
I just bottled it. So anyway, first question. Lahm was 11 years old when he joined Bayern Munich. True or false?
True.
Liam's going with true.
I will say true. That's too weird. If he was 12, I would say true.
It is true. It's 1 point for both of you. Cool. Next question. Lahm has only ever played for Bayern Munich at club level. Only team he's played for. True or false?
I think this is a trick question, so I'm going to say false.
Yeah, I'm going to say false as well. I think he's been on loan somewhere. I don't know.
I was going to say
I don't
he
know.
must have been on loan
I don't
somewhere.
know.
When he was young, just randomly out to some
I would
club.
say I don't feel like I've heard anyone say he is a one club man. I think he probably is. Find out in a minute. I'm going to say false.
Fair play. You're absolutely right. He had a 2-year loan at Stuttgart.
Oh, get in.
Stuttgart.
Otherwise,
I wouldn't have known.
Otherwise, always a Bayern Munich player. Always been in Munich. Next we have Lahm has been in the World Cup All-Star team 3 separate times. True or false?
3 separate
I think he's
times.
been in twice. Would he have been in 2006? 2006, 2000.
And
I reckon he has been
14.
actually. I reckon he's been in 3 times in a row.
I'm going to say false.
I want to say true.
Johnny is right. It is
Yes.
true. He was in
Just to mix it up.
06, 10 and 14. In 14 he was a midfielder as well. He got in the centre mid position. The other 2 centre back.
Yes.
He's actually one of only 3 players who's ever had that accomplishment. No one's been in before. The other players are Beckenbauer, fellow German, and I don't want to... Djalma Santos. Yeah, it was the other
I take
player.
it he's Brazilian.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it was Brazilian or Portuguese. I think probably Brazilian. Yeah, they have
Probably
also
Brazilian.
probably. I can't remember.
Come
this
on,
as well. I'm sorry.
Facts don't matter.
I only care about Philipp Lahm. Okay,
Don't
Philipp
let
Lahm is the main
Don't
man.
let the facts get in the way of a good story.
But they're the only players. The others who've got it in there all 3 times.
These true and false is even true now. I don't even
So
know.
that's now.
I don't know.
So Johnny has now taken the lead, 3-2.
3-2.
And on to the next one. Philipp Lahm's debut for Munich was in the Champions League. True or false?
In the Champions, not a final, just Champions League.
In the Champions League game.
Was his debut.
His debut.
I'm gonna say true. I think that's sort of somewhere you might chuck him in, like thinking you've got.
I'm going to say
You
false.
believe that he's got the ability.
Is this the last question?
Oh no, there's a few.
Oh, okay, I'll say false.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true.
Just to mix it up.
It is in fact true.
Fuck! I'm waiting for the trip up. And you're just...
Just answer the question here. Just get it in your head. He's in your head.
Yeah, it is indeed. He was a 92nd minute substitute against RC Lens
That doesn't count.
in 2000.
That's not
it
a
does.
debut.
Yes, it
Debut.
does.
That's his
He
first.
came on.
That was his
First-
first appearance.
first team.
That's-
for
that's
Bayern
a-
Munich.
that's a-
Professional. That was his first
Thinking
professional
around
game.
the stadium, that is. That's a...
Yes,
That's a
that counts.
Right.
thanks
now.
for coming.
That same
Good
season,
question, Jack.
Lahm only made 4 appearances for Munich.
In that season.
Yeah, he only made 4 appearances for Munich that season.
Are any of these questions false?
We've had one. We've already had one false. Liam.
I would say,
So-
yeah.
True.
I think if it's his first,
Well-
if his first season,
I'm going
and
to say false.
he's only
I'm gonna
been
keep going.
been given 92nd. I don't think you trust him that much. I would say yes, and he probably got injured or something.
It is actually false.
Third time lucky.
That game against RC Lens was his only appearance for Munich that season.
Oh, it's
he was in. That is also the season he went on loan to Stuttgart.
Oh.
I thought my
learning
reasoning.
stuff today.
Liam is coming
I
back.
thought my reasoning was airtight now.
People
so I've
need
got
to know
that
about
spot
Philipp Lahm.
on.
So that's now 4-3 to Johnny. Okay, now next question.
I'm
A bit more
sweating now.
interesting.
Has anyone got a towel?
So
Scarf.
FIFA sent Philipp Lahm and Owen Hargreaves to South Africa to promote the 2010 World Cup, but Hargreaves couldn't go because he got injured. True or false? He couldn't go on the trip to South Africa because he was injured. He was too injured to travel.
Very Owen Hargreaves like.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was like, that doesn't. Is it one of those like dropped a fridge on his foot type things?
I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna say true. I don't remember that happening, so I'm gonna say true.
You don't remember it happening?
I don't remember hearing anything about that even at the time. I would say that you didn't.
It is actually true. Owen Hargreaves, only man who could possibly get too injured to go on a freaking plane. Yeah, in fact, Peter Trochowski went instead.
Yeah. That'd be why I didn't hear it then. Yeah. No one gives a shit.
Remember. Going back a bit, Lahm used to be a ball boy at Bayern Munich.
100% true. I know that's true.
True then.
That is 100%.
Oh, you're giving me the answer.
I don't care.
What you do? He's still got his 1 point lead, so Johnny doesn't care. It is true. It is true. 100%. Lahm's a lifelong fan.
I knew that one. I actually knew that one. That's good.
So at Philipp Lahm's wedding, apparently it was 4 days after the World Cup, but I couldn't find if that was actually true or not, so I'm not sure. But at his wedding, there were no, other than Philipp Lahm of course, there were no other footballers present. True or false?
After which World Cup, sorry?
Well, it's just at his wedding. So it was after I believe the 2010 World Cup.
Okay. I was trying to get a picture of where he was.
Do we know where?
But as I say, I don't. Huh?
Do we know where he got?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say there's true.
True. No other footballers attended
I'm gonna
his
say
wedding.
false. I think his best man was like Alonso, wasn't it?
It wasn't Alonso, but it is false. There was one other footballer there. It was former teammate and Lahm's best friend, Andreas Ottel.
I was gonna say.
He was the only. He retired in 2003, playing at Bayern Munich. So he was at Munich a little bit. So yeah, that he was the only other footballer there present.
Get it.
None of Lahm's. I don't know. Everyone was probably still hungover from the World Cup.
I thought he would have invited. Yeah, that was either like he's gonna have a really quiet wedding with like no one else, or he'll invite every single person.
Lahm is a very private. He is.
That's
kind of
one
like
of the
Scholes.
things.
He's a very quiet.
Do you really want to invite the whole squad?
Lads,
That'd be a bit of a nightmare.
Invite the whole squad round, definitely. What is it? 6-4 now. What's the score?
Yeah,
I've only got one wrong. I think. So how many
you've got two. Yeah, you're two ahead of Liam.
Yeah.
You're two ahead of Liam.
Yeah.
How many were left?
I think we've got 2 questions left.
Just got to get one right.
So this could be a draw or it's game over.
If
I don't get one,
yeah. Two. So Liam's playing for the draw.
Game over.
Alright, so Lahm has won every single competition he's played in.
Has won every competition
Every competition he's ever played in.
Yeah, that's got to be true, isn't it? So he's got to have won. So German, he's got to won a Bundesliga. He's definitely won the DFB Pokal. He's won the Champions League. He's won the World Cup. What else has he played in? Europa League. He's played in Europa League with Stuttgart. Oh, that's the tripping point, isn't it? Where is it Stuttgart? Because Bayern Munich.
They have won the Euros, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they've won the Euros as well. Yeah.
They have won the Euros.
So he's won international, like both international.
Lahm has won every competition he has played in. True or false?
Does that include table tennis tournaments?
No, every football competition. Every professional competition he has played in. True or false?
I want to say true, but I feel like there's maybe something like forgetting. He must have played in like
a nonsense tournament.
Yeah, he might have played in like the Europa League of Stuttgart and they didn't win it or something.
Stuttgart that good?
I don't know. They might have been in like early
on
2000s.
their day, Jack.
On their day,
they could beat anyone.
Early 2000s, they might have.
I'm gonna say true.
I'm going to say true and then hope there's not one I've forgotten about because I feel like he has.
Johnny's gone the same as Liam, so Liam there cannot win. But you're both wrong anyway, it's false.
No.
He was only runner-up in Euros 2008.
Did they not win it?
I did think
I
so.
was
thinking
he
they
won
hadn't
2012.
He has not won
he won
Euros.
2016.
I should have gone.
Oh shit, he retired after 2014 World Cup.
I should have gone. My God.
Yeah, he's not won the European competition.
Did he retire after 2014 World Cup?
He's not. Actually, he has not won the European Championship.
He was after he won the World Cup.
Oh, I thought he won 2016.
Yeah.
That's part of my reasoning. I just said no otherwise because that's the only time they'd won.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake. Oh,
Otherwise, he has won everything else, like literally everything else. He won the World Club Championship, so it's Bayern Munich.
Oh, that's annoying.
And then our last question. Or have I read it wrong? Oh no, that was in fact actually our last question. I'm sorry, I've read wrong.
Oh, well done. Johnny's won then.
Johnny has won convincingly.
Well done.
Well played.
Get in. I really wanted that. I was so annoying. Should have got that one right.
But you know for next time.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
well,
now
I know
Philipp
a
Lahm
few of them.
experts.
I am, pretty much.
Cheers.
Yeah, I got 1 or 2 wrong.
So, yeah, as I mentioned before, Lahm 3 times in the World Cup All-Star team. Never actually got given the player of the tournament. I think sometimes it's hard for... And he's never actually been named the Germany player of the year either,
Really?
which surprised me.
Oh.
Which is very surprising.
That is
But
interesting.
so I think sometimes it's quite difficult for defenders.
Defenders.
Sorry, I got defenders and individual mixed up. So individual
I remember
offenders.
those days.
The
I like to
individual
play as a
offenders.
left-sided Divinger.
Yeah, I think
My
it's hard.
favourite Divinger, so
Sometimes-
every day of the week.
It can be difficult for defensive players or goalkeepers to get individual awards. And I was also thinking about the Ballon d'Or with Gabriel Jesus. Looks like a special player, the sort of special player talent we saw in Messi and Ronaldo. Even though Jesus has gone off injured as we speak, to watching Man City Bournemouth. That may be my doing. I made.
So's Jack Wilshere. So
I made.
nothing else is
That's nothing either.
Jack
That's
Wilshere,
not even
Jack
saying
Wilshere.
newsworthy. Rain is wet.
Yeah, I know.
But,
Water's wet sounds quite hot.
Yeah, Jesus. I did make Jesus my captain in fantasy football this week, so that may or may not have something to do with him getting injured. So sorry, City fans, but I mean, your sport as it is, so who cares? You've got enough. But anyway, so I was thinking about that. So my question for you guys is, who is going to be the next Ballon d'Or winner that isn't Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I'm going to say probably Griezmann,
Antoine Griezmann.
if he comes to United.
I'm pretty sure any La Liga players are like to win
That would
the
be
Ballon d'Or, aren't
that
they?
would be terrible. I would hate that.
But you got the
think-
Pogba dab and the
I
Griezmann
think
phone calls.
Luis Suarez will win it
Luis Suarez.
purely out of goals, but it'll probably be him or possibly Pogba somehow.
Oh, yeah.
See, I think
If he leaves
Neymar.
United.
I
So
think
I
Neymar.
do want to say Neymar,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
a
feel
good
like maybe it's just because he's just dropped off the boil a little bit lately.
Yeah, if I pick a name right now, I think I'd have to say Luis Suarez because it's usually based on just goals.
It is right now, but you think Luis Suarez could come towards the end of the career? I mean, is he older than Messi?
Yeah.
Is he?
Is he?
I thought Suarez
He
was
might
like
be.
27,
Oh, really?
But then how old's Messi?
like
He's-
30.
Yeah, so like, by the time Messi and Ronaldo do come to the, I mean, nobody knows how much longer they've got. They could still be playing, but then lose their quality a bit like Iniesta.
Bale
Yeah.
can definitely be up there.
I'd love Bale to get it. As a,
Bale would
as
be a
a
good
half
shout.
Welshman.
He needs to step out. Ronaldo needs to give him a bit more breathing room, maybe.
I think he's found his own breathing.
No,
Yeah,
he
he's
hasn't
definitely-
started
He
it,
just
but-
he just hasn't reached that. He just hasn't reached their level because of his injuries. But he's been a key component in them winning their championship.
I think it'll be a lot more fair anyway. Whoever the next person is, it might be at least an even.
It'd be an
Yeah,
interesting
it'll actually be
competition
better,
because it'd be
yeah.
like
Yeah,
oh,
and hopefully by that time, players like Dele Alli, Gabriel Jesus, Marcus Rashford.
I think Rashford's a bit of a shit.
You never know, like.
Yeah, I'd love it to be
but
Rashford.
that's what, like, obviously, I say
If he
hopefully.
gets his big money move to
Well,
Real
but
Madrid.
then if you're going to
Tom
say
Headley.
you'd have to say Martial, as my brother once said.
Ooh,
He's
Martial.
the best player in the world already. Like,
Already.
just can't stop laughing at that.
Martial.
There's a big pool of players, but I want to say people who, like Griezmann scored at the Euros and had quite a prominent role there. So I feel like I feel like he could, depending where he next moves to. I think he could definitely do it
It's
there.
like-
Neymar needs to hit sort of form again. I don't really watch that much Barcelona stuff, so I'd have to.
I'll tell you what it's like.
Well,
Yeah,
Messi, yeah.
Johnny soon going to Barca.
but,
It's interesting, isn't it? As I say, we've all named attacking players again. It's obviously it is very easy for attacking players to get the limelight. But then, so
just defended so
if you go
terrible
to,
at the moment.
but then, it's true. But then, one role that has been revolutionised, and Lahm has played there as well, is CDM. The likes of Kante. Kante is absolutely superb, and it's very rare to see a CDM who's so far ahead of everyone. That I think, for me, I think he is right now the best defensive midfielder, maybe in defensive player in the world right now. I'd say definitely best defensive midfielder. And I think the way he's playing and to have so many tackles and to have such an impact from a defensive role, I think something that deserves recognition and maybe could be Ballon d'Or worthy.
Yeah, well, because Busquets would have a bit of a shout as well because he's been crucial to Barcelona and he hasn't won anything you'd like to see.
And obviously we've
He's
had like
insane.
Neuer in third place. You've got a couple of young keepers coming up like Donnarumma,
Courtois,
AC Milan, Courtois,
Lloris.
Julio Gomez.
Yeah.
No.
There's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
I love him though.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's hard,
Yeah,
isn't it? But then it was interesting you said before, Johnny. I remember you said about that maybe with Ballon d'Or you'd like to see it 4 different awards, one for each position. So a goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and striker.
But then that's when you have the team of the year, isn't it? If you get put in the team of the year, that's kind of...
Yeah, well, I just
But
think,
who's
like,
the best? You've got those
yeah,
4
but then it's just
midfielders.
so
Who's the best out of those
It's
4?
unfair to say who's the best footballer, but football's a team game, so you can't just be
That's why
someone that scores the goals.
You kind of just have to take it for what it is. It's just, like, awards in general are stupid, so like...
Is it because you've never won?
I used to win match of the...
He hasn't won an
Man of the match
now.
all the time. When everyone else was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Everyone's crap at football apart from Messi.
Yeah, I just think it's you're always going to have these kind of arguments of who's in each position, but it's not. It's easier to have this player is the best.
Well, I think
it's not great, and it is too narrow. But there are plenty other awards for them to win, and if they've won the awards as a team.
And then talking about talent, but moving completely away from football, Djibril Cisse has announced his retirement from football to chase his dream of being a DJ. What? What?
That's staying in there.
Some fantastic sound effects from Liam. So I want to know.
I'll put a real one in.
It's only the beat just dropped one.
You're just suddenly here like Skrillex or something like that.
Yeah. So I want to know who could follow in Djibril Cisse's footsteps and who else could have a successful career away. Well, not to say that Djibril Cisse will be successful or not. I'm not sure. I'm sure he can press play and become a DJ, but who else could?
Throwing shade. DJ.
The DJ.
I'm throwing shade. Djibril's too busy throwing shapes, so it's fine.
The DJ community will be after you for that.
I can say what I want. This is my podcast, damn it. But I want to know what other football players do you think could have successful careers away from football and doing what?
It's not away from football, but I hope you like it. I want to say Valencia doing a job at right wing instead of right back. Because that's where he belongs. No. I have 2 here. Jesus could be a priest.
I think he's the Messiah, isn't he? He's Messiah.
I'm so bored of these puns on his name. That is so annoying.
We need to find out if he can cross.
Oh.
Yeah. I've learned that one.
Grown.
Making Johnny cross with you.
Yeah. And then my Kante could be some sort of like logistics driver. Or some logistics planner because he's just like all over the place and
cleaner.
Yeah, I was gonna say a janitor.
Cleaner.
Sweeping. Clean.
I know some ex-footballers have had some quite interesting careers. I think one player, journeyman around the Football League, Rory Fallon, used to play for Swindon, scored one of the best ever goals I've ever seen against Bristol City. Bicycle kick from the edge of the 18-yard box.
Did he turn into a bicycle?
He set up an ice cream shop. We went to play for Plymouth, and obviously Devon and Cornish cream is all quite famous down there. He set up an ice cream business down there, and apparently that's going quite well. So that's quite nice to have footballers have interesting careers after they finish playing.
So who else would be good at selling ice cream? Odio Nagalo, because he's fantastic with scoops. Scoops are fantastic. Well, they were at least. He will revolutionise the Chinese ice cream market.
I don't know. It's probably pretty good as it is. Chinese food is pretty good, isn't it?
They don't really have ice cream though, do they?
Do they not?
Well,
they're not huge on dairy.
puddings.
Not
They
huge
don't
on
have
dairy
puddings,
over in Asia. I also think if I was running a PR company, I would want Batshuayi to run my Twitter account because I think he's got great Twitter banter.
Oh right, yeah, he's pretty prominent on Twitter, isn't he?
Although he keeps getting, as I saw today, he keeps getting mistaken in articles for Chalobah. They keep having. There's a lot of articles. It's happened a few times now. Where's an article about Batshuayi with just a picture of Chalobah.
Bit casual racism.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Why were the articles about Chalobah? Chalobah's class. But what else?
Would you say Yaya Toure being a baker?
Baker.
Because he didn't get his birthday.
It sounds like the
cake.
start of a terrible B-list movie, doesn't it? Everyone forgot his birthday.
So what he did, he'd make cakes for other people. So they
Passive
feel
aggressive cake. Like,
appreciated.
it's your cake. I hope you enjoy it.
Don't
But then he
shoot.
goes in flames because his agent wants to charge too much for the cakes. He's like, you know what, I'm taking my cakes away from Manchester.
It'll be like that
My cakes would be more appreciated somewhere else.
It'll be like that advert where the one with the cherry.
The mortgage.
Yeah.
£1 million or something. Yeah.
Also, I want to see I think Fernando Torres He already does it on the pitch, but he is an artist. Has anyone seen the goal Torres scored recently? The bicycle kick.
Did he I saw a thingy where it's like he scored that, but then missed a sitter or something.
Standard Torres, isn't it?
What is going on with him?
What you're not seeing, Liam, is there is a message behind it, like all art. You have to look deeper into the true meaning.
Maybe he wanted to.
I did love.
Is it really worth scoring tap-ins?
Yeah.
When you can.
When you can score bicycles, exactly. That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not just a bicycle. He's had to do all the work. He's had to set himself up. He's chested it into the air and he's just fallen back gracefully, like a. No, maybe not.
I love it when salmons like when swans die and gracefully fall backwards.
But like, it wasn't even like it was sheer luck though, because when you actually watch the finish, it is just looped perfectly into the top corner.
It was very nice.
Make Torres great again.
He's in Spain.
That should be on a hat.
That's a dangerous.
That should be on a hat.
Fully loaded.
I'm trying to think of a goalkeeper who's really organised, and then they could be the next American president because they're obviously good at organising wars. At least they know the country's actually in safe hands as well. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think that's it. This is a lot really. We don't really know. We don't know anything. Just footballers is just I kick a ball, and no one really knows much else about them. I want to know more about players off the pitch, what they like to do. Like we don't know. Maybe Rooney's a fantastic chef.
Or banker.
Rooney's a fantastic banker.
It rhymes with it.
Oh.
No, I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism.
See, I was trying to think of careers for Rooney, and all I see is just the old advert of him coming out of a caravan with baked beans down his vest.
Panto.
Panto.
Go do Shrek.
He's just the bottom half of the donkey. I love Wayne. Right there, decent. And then the front half's Peter Crouch.
He could work in a zoo feeding a giraffe.
No, he befriends the giraffes. We're getting dumb. No, this is all honest opinion, so we cannot get done for libel. I'm sorry, Peter Crouch. Not that sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Peter Crouch.
Right, and then moving things on, just briefly.
Have fun editing that bullshit out.
I can't do it if I can be bothered this week.
So moving on, just to end it off, we always like to push it forward. We've got the Champions League is back. No one will watch it because it's on BT, but the Champions League is back. So get down to the pubs. We've got Dortmund versus Benfica. Probably a Dortmund game. Dortmund win, most likely.
Who's at home?
It is a Benfica.
Dortmund have been struggling recently. Didn't they lose to someone in like the bottom three? Maybe?
Have they still got a ban on their fans as well? Because I don't know if you heard about that. Their fans were banned from the stadium after throwing rocks and bottles at Leipzig fans and
no matter how much you hate
that seems fair.
That's just like
no, it's because people are saying, oh, it's horrible. Like fans are what make football, and it's like, yeah, but when you're hospitalising fans for something that they have no control over, well, I guess in Germany a lot of fans do have control over who controls the club, but when someone like Red Bull comes in, fans don't have the funds to do it, and Leipzig are doing well. They've got a good young team. Just appreciate the football. It doesn't matter. And there's no, I don't care how great you are, how loud you are, or what a true fan is. You're not a true fan if you're bringing that kind of ugliness and violence to the game. I don't think there's any place for it.
Well said.
Jack for Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I think that was ridiculous. But yeah, I think back to the football.
Really nice.
I think that Dortmund have been struggling recently, and they've sort of been not free flowing. They might have. I think it'll be a difficult game, but
I
could possibly see.
They just needed a away goal.
I think
draw out
Dortmund have got a better team, but I do fancy Benfica in the Champions League occasion at home. I think. I think they might win that one, but then probably lose away. So
it'll all come down to away goals. And then also much more star-studded game probably is PSG Barcelona. Huge game. Barcelona, PSG haven't got Chelsea this time for once in the Champions League.
Yet.
PSG do fancy to meet up with Barcelona quite a lot, don't they? I'm pretty sure
as well.
Previous years So I think you'd fancy Barca for this one.
Yeah, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best.
And I think PSG, they've got what's his face in the Sevilla manager from last year, and it's not quite gone as well as they'd hope. I don't think so. I think Barca will probably whitewash them.
Yeah. It's probably hard for them because they've actually got to turn up now. They've actually got to try to win again.
So, and they haven't even been doing that in the league. So yeah, I think Barcelona have too much for them. I think.
Arsenal picked up a big win against Hull. Got some momentum after maybe they've got over their slump, and now they've got Bayern Munich again in the Champions League. It seems to always be Arsenal always seem to get Munich or Barcelona. It's probably for the best. Just put them down early, get the job done. And does anyone think Arsenal turn up?
I don't think this is going to be any.
Ozil's actually been hiding because he's actually been in Munich the whole time mentally.
I don't think this is going to be as easy as people perhaps think it is, even with Arsenal struggling. I think Bayern have had problems as well. Like they've sort of only been sneaking past teams thanks to sort of late winners, and I don't think it's not as smooth as it was under Pep. So I think Arsenal, weirdly, as poor as they are for big games in the Premier League, they seem to always weirdly turn up for Champions League games, and they just leave themselves a bit too much to do. If they can give themselves at least a chance going back to Germany, because
I believe it is in Germany for the first leg.
So if they can give themselves a chance coming back to England then in the return leg, then I think they can do it. Like, I think they will actually cause a surprise, but they've got to give themselves a chance, because that's always what lets them down. Like, they all seem to play well in the second leg. They just give themselves way too much to do, and they're sort of 2 or 3 down in the first leg.
Yeah, because who was it? Monaco they played at home first time round, and then they got slaughtered
beat,
in that. So it doesn't seem to matter who or where they play, Arsenal. It's just wherever their heads at are in that zone. And the win against Hull would have helped, quite a lot if they'd gone. Obviously, if they'd lost that game, then it would have been a full-blown disaster. But yeah, I'm not. You just know what history will say. They're going to lose it.
Football isn't won by history, though.
But, exactly. As we saw Liverpool keep losing, then suddenly played Tottenham, one of the best teams in the league.
Liverpool's got plenty of history, but they can't buy a win, so they won on Saturday.
Random jab out there, yeah. I think, though, that, as you say, if Arsenal can give themselves like a 1-1 draw, I think would be ideal for Arsenal to not only keep getting away goal, keep themselves in the game, and then you go back to the Emirates, and for once the fans will actually care. And there'll actually be an atmosphere at the Emirates, and we'll take full advantage if Bayern Munich are caught sleeping. But I mean, Bayern Munich is such a fantastic defensive outlet, just team in general. But yeah, Arsenal could definitely. They have surprised before. They've maybe not quite got the results, but they've definitely always put up a fight against when they face teams like Barcelona.
Plus, they have got Ancelotti by Munich, and I think Ancelotti seems to just know the Champions League in and out.
And then finally, we have a interesting game: Real Madrid versus Napoli. And Napoli, actually, at the moment, every time I try and keep up a bit with European football, and every time I look anything up, it always seems to be about Napoli just absolutely battering people. And Mertens currently one of the most informed players in the world. He's hit a kind of a late stride in his career. I think he's 28 now, coming towards the end, and he's fully in his prime, and he looks absolutely incredible. If he's not scoring, he's running past multiple people. And yeah, I think I can maybe see Napoli is such a fantastic attacking outlet. I mean, they have the likes of as well. Gabbiadini's been doing great at Southampton. The fact he didn't even get a look in at Napoli tells you that they do have quality.
I think I
They're
watched
a
them
good
play
team.
the Italian Cup game a few weeks back, and they look a really good team. I think they only won 1-0 standard sort of Italian scoreline, but they played so well. Like, they will definitely cause Real Madrid some problems. I still think Real Madrid will come through fairly easily.
That's surprising coming from you though, considering that it was you actually went to the Bernabeu and saw that Real Madrid Schalke game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I don't think. Possibly it could happen again. I think Schalke have got the ability to sort of score 4, but
if Schalke have the ability to score 4, what ability did Napoli have?
Yeah, I mean Napoli have definitely got the ability to score 4. Like I said, I think they'll cause them some problems. I just think Real Madrid ultimately will have too much to. And they'll advance. See,
I'm going to go against grain here, and I think that Napoli look so confident, look so fantastic attacking, and I don't think Real Madrid are always, as like a lot of Spanish teams, sometimes get a bit surprised when teams come and attack them, and Napoli have absolutely nothing to lose. They're going to the Bernabeu, no one really expects them to do well. If they lose, it's not the end of the world. They're still doing great in Serie A. They're still a fantastic team, so they can just go, play their game, attack, and I think they could catch out Real Madrid. If Real Madrid just don't turn up or even get surprised, I think Napoli ping back. They've just got so many players like Mertens, like I absolutely love Lorenzo Insigne. I absolutely adore him as a player. I think he's fantastic. He's just great to watch. And it's those type of players with so much energy and so much skill, just can create anything out of nothing. And in the Champions League, if you're good enough, then you turn up in those big games. And Napoli turned themselves up to 11. I can see a big shock.
Yeah,
maybe not over 2 legs, but at least in this leg.
I don't know, because Real Madrid.
Oh, obviously Real Madrid.
Have they? Because obviously they lost their run a couple of weeks back.
They won every game,
but they have still been winning, haven't they?
Yeah,
So
I think they lose, and then I think they drew to someone not brilliant, and then I think they've won since. I watched them beat. Was it Alaves at the weekend?
Osasuna.
Osasuna beat. I assume it's sort of 6-0 on it.
3-0.
Was it 3-0? Who's the game before that? No, sorry, that was Barca that beat them 6, wasn't it? Yeah, I watched Real Madrid at the weekend.
3-1 even.
Yeah, and I think their equalising goal was actually really good. That's what you worry about Real Madrid, because their defence is sometimes a bit open. But I think it'll be a really entertaining 2 games. But I think Real Madrid will have the quality to go through.
Yeah, it's actually a shame they're both on Wednesday, because I think I'd actually rather watch this Real Napoli game, to be honest, than Arsenal Munich.
Yeah.
The pubs undoubtedly will be showing the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for this week. Thank you again for joining into the 3 Wide Men podcast, and hope we will see you next week. It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from all 3 of us. See you later.